Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope your day has been beautiful. Hope your day has been amazing, as it should be. Rightfully deserved, beautiful day. We got some things to be excited about, but we have some questions that still have not been answered yet, from what I've gathered. Okay, there's a lot that's going on. There's a press briefing that we are going to be taking a look at. Yes, I know a lot of y'all have already seen the press briefing with everyone, law enforcement and whatnot. But I still haven't gotten a chance to watch it with you guys. So I want to watch it with you guys. I saw it late last night while I was getting ready to go to sleep. And it's been a very, very busy afternoon, or very, very busy morning leading into the afternoon. So I still wanted to give you guys this information. And what's interesting about this, by the way, what's really, really interesting about this situation is that I was like, oh, dang, I'm already too late to the press conference. It's already done. Everybody and their mama has already talked about this, so on and so forth. So I'm thinking, okay, this case is done, right? This case is over. But then something recent, about an hour or so ago, came up. And I'm going, wait a second, we still got to talk about this. Could there be another monster on the loose? And I'll explain in a little while. So I thought, okay, this story's not done yet, so I can talk about this and watch this press conference with you and all of that. So we're going to do that. We're going to take a look at a few things. Of course, we got some very interesting new information revolving around the actual monster. Okay. And yeah, we got a lot to look into. So do me a favor as we get into it. Yeah, it's interesting indeed, y'all. Interesting things are popping off. So we are going to be looking at that because there has been a post that was made that I just got questions. But I think it's the same question I had last night before we wrapped up the show. And again, there's some other things that don't make sense. And it may be because of what they posted just an hour ago or so. I'll explain here in a little bit. So a little housekeeping. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Okay, you know your boy's working hard, so hit that like button. If you're watching on Facebook, please hit that reaction button because I see a bunch of y'all in there. Okay, watching. Hit that reaction button. Please share if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. And for those of y'all who are starting to file in, come on in. The water's just fine. Ain't no sharks in here. Nothing but good times and floaties or something. And martinis. Not martinis, margaritas. That's fine. Okay, and pina coladas. All right? Also, if this is your first time checking out this show, please crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you crush that follow button over there as well. You know, if you don't know, you will know soon that your boy's working hard out here in these streets to give you the conversations and the stories that you need for the day, the week, whenever you're watching this show. So hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. That'd be greatly appreciated on both platforms. Anyway, we got to get into some things, guys. We got some things we got to talk about. Man, last night was a wonderful live stream. And a lot of y'all will be like, well, a lot of y'all were there, so you already know why. Now, I understand that the family and people on social media have been very, very adamant about not sharing Charlotte Sena's face anymore on social medias and all that stuff. So I'm going to do my best to respect that as best as I can within this live stream. But we do know that there was a 9-year-old girl by the name of Charlotte Sena. And trust me, I'd be showing you graphics right now, but I'm not going to be showing you those graphics out of respect. All right. But she went missing after she went on a bike ride around Moreau Lake State Park. She told her parents, hey, I'm big. I'm grown. Let me show you how big of a girl I am by doing a ride around Loop A and Moreau Lake State Park. Okay. She went and took this tour, this bike ride, and she did not return. Within minutes, the family got very concerned because they figured it'd be a quick loop-de-loo around this Loop A. And of course, this is when this launched a massive search looking for this young girl. So it was for 2 days that they were looking for this young girl. And then, of course, something really amazing happened. A suspect, first off, one of the main top things is that she was found alive. And now she's staying with her parents, being loved and doted upon. Okay. And it's not Sena and M, it's Sena, just so you know. They've been correcting it like crazy. So it's not John Cena. Nah, not Sena. Sena. Okay. But moving on. She has been found alive. She is home with her family, etc. It is wonderful things. Everyone's very excited, very, very happy. But a lot of us are wondering, who the hell is the person that took her, right? And there's also information that we talked about last night, that isn't correct at all. Once we hear from the press conference, you're going to hear some things near the end of the press conference that totally destroy some of the reports that have been out here. I mean, let me just take you a trip, let's take a trip down memory lane really quick, okay? This is from the article that we shared last night. Now, it could be they may have updated this last night when the real information came out, but there's some things in here that don't make any sense. Like they say, sources said that the suspect, who allegedly has a criminal history in SA, okay? Now, there's some other pieces we already know, all right? That this stupid mother loving, thank God he was stupid, but this monster left a note, dropped off a note at her parents' home. And through investigation, getting his fingerprint, they found his fingerprint on the letter. They were able to zero in and find this dude living in a camper in the backyard of his own mama's home. I mean, it's almost like living in a van down by the river kind of thing. Okay. See, that even upset my dogs. They didn't like that. Sorry, guys. I won't do that right now. But yes, they said, okay, they said in this, and they haven't changed it yet. They said that this person is a registered. They said that this dude was a registered SO, like he had history. But we're going to be listening to it, watching it as well, which was the weirdest press conference, the weirdest ending to a press conference I have ever seen. All right. They want it out. They said, governor just said, governor just chucked up the deuces and just was out. Just done. Okay. Abruptly. I don't know if she had the runs. Maybe she had some really spicy chili before this press conference, but she just skedaddled. Okay. It was very weird. All right. I digress. But there's certain information in here that's not correct. Now, one of the other things that I'm wondering about, and I said it last night because I was like, I feel it all the way down to my plums. Something just ain't right. They said that there was major activity at the SPAC. Okay, this spot. Okay, where you can go and see the arts. You can go see ballet, maybe go see Hamlet by Shakespeare. Okay, you could go, embrace, consume the arts, listen to Mozart, There was activity over there. And it led me to believe that that's where maybe in this ransom note, this is where they all met up and, we're going to do this exchange. And then that's when he got caught, right? But that's not what is being said in this briefing that we're going to hear in just a minute. He was found, like I said, in a van he was in his camper in the backyard of his own mama's home. So what does Saratoga Performing Arts Center, SPAC, have anything to do with the arrest of this mother lover right here? Hold on, we're gonna show his mug. We can show his face. We gonna definitely show his face. Look at this guy. 46 or 47. I'm hearing 46. I'm hearing 47. It don't matter. He had a horde life. Living in a van down by the river, or living in a camper behind my mama's home. Yep. He looks like a guy who says, yep. You know what I'm saying? But this is the guy that they got. Thank you, Jesus, they got this dude. Okay, and may he rot forever in prison. But there's something about it that makes me feel that there's more to this, that we ain't done yet. We're going to get into it. I promise you. I'm getting ahead of myself as always. All right. But first, let's check out this press conference. I think we all want to see this. If you guys haven't seen it, hit the number 1. Let me know, because I'm wondering who's seen it and who hasn't. Right. 1 second. We got haters. Thank you, Debbie. Good job. Yeah. Anytime it starts with an N, just delete. Okay. But for those of y'all, thank you, Debbie. Always holding it down, Debbie. You're amazing. And to all my mods, I do appreciate y'all. All right. But I know some of us have seen it. I know some of y'all have. I'm sorry, but I don't care because I have not seen it with y'all. So let's watch this together. There's some information in here, and it's very interesting. Okay. It's very interesting. So let's take a listen. Again, one of the world's dumbest criminals. I'll keep it straight funky with you. Okay. Lil Patty said, seen it twice. Dang. It was that blockbuster of a press conference for you that you seen it twice? Like this is the Titanic? Was Leonardo DiCaprio in here? Damn. But I appreciate you watching it twice. All right, let's take a listen to this. Hit the number 1 to let me know you guys can hear this. Let's rock and roll.
Yesterday, I held Charlotte's parents in my arms.
It's very
David and
quiet.
Trish, I went to the campsite. I saw the place that she had just been a joyful little girl the day before, riding her bike, because I was on the road she rode her bike on, saw where she left it. And her parents were just so overcome with sadness and grief. And as a parent, I thought my own heart was breaking. And I said to them, I promise you this, we will bring Charlotte home to you. And as each hour went on, hope faded, because we all know the stories. The first 24 hours, there's hope. But when you hit 48 hours, hope starts to wane. But when Charlotte disappeared in Monroe State Park, it was every parent's worst nightmare.
That's as loud as I can get it, guys.
But I knew I would be able to have assembled the team of individuals who would not stop. And I want to thank at this moment the individuals gathered here tonight and all the men and women across this state that they represent. And the FBI brought in their specialized trained individuals all the way from Washington to help with this search.
Real quick, I'm going to say something really quick, and I'm saying it quietly because I know you guys turned it all the way up right now. But I feel like she's having a movie moment. She's like, okay, if they were gonna do this scene in a movie, that's what it kind of feels like. I'm sure she's very grateful. I'm sure she's very tired as well. But if she, this is a random question, I know, but if there was going to be an actress to play her role in this movie, who would it be? Fired off in the comments. Love to know. Let's rock and roll.
But I want to thank Deputy Superintendent Richard Allen, Lieutenant Colonel James Barnes, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Mazzone, Major Dennis Shager, for their work. The New York State Park Police, Colonel Michael Dodona, the Office of Parks and Historic Preservation, Chief of Staff Randy Simons, Saratoga County Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Jeffrey O'Connor, the Schenectady County Sheriff's Office, represented by the Schenectady Police Department, Police Department of Schenectady, Detective Sergeant Bradley Carlton, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Acting Agent in Charge, Alfred Watson, who I met yesterday on site, New York State Department of Corrections and Community Services, Acting Commissioner Daniel Marticello, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Forest Rangers, Basil Sagos. As I mentioned, when you hit that 48-hour moment, you realize it's going to be tough. And you start thinking the worst. But what happened was extraordinary. The case started to break at 4:20 a.m. this morning.
420.
When the family's home that was being guarded by state police, when the parents were still starting another day at the campsite where they'd last seen their daughter. 4:20 a.m. The car pulls up to a mailbox. Something is left. State police immediately go to the mailbox and identify what is a ransom note that had been left behind for Charlotte. State police worked diligently trying to find a match for a fingerprint. First one tried and wasn't successful. Second one was to identify any other prints in the New York State database that would be a match. The hit came at 2:30 in the afternoon. There had been a DWI in 1999 in the city of Saratoga. A fingerprint was found that matched what was found on the ransom note. So, a little more research work to identify the location and identifying the fact that there was a home they could visit. They found a double wide house with a woman, the suspect's mother.
Mm-hmm.
The suspect lived in the camper behind. They have what they call a dynamic entry, a tactical maneuver, and within the camper, they located the suspect.
One thing I am wondering, Crow Red Eye, yeah, it is kind of like, yeah, but I can understand. She must be exhausted, y'all. She must be. You know, all those guys behind her must be exhausted. But you know, from the countless hours that they've been going, I mean, it's been 2 days nonstop. I'm sure they are just exhausted. But one thing that doesn't make, I feel like this is such a big moment. I feel like there would be a big jolt of energy, right? A adrenaline rush, just pumping through, so on and so forth. But, you know, but like I said, we're not here or not like I said, but we're not here to look at her performance, but, you know, in giving us the information. We got really great news when it came to her being found, right? But one other question I do want to ask is, what's up with the mom? What's up with mama? Is mama involved? Did mama know? You know what I'm saying? What could she know of what was going on in her backyard? in his camper in her backyard? That's what I'd like to know as well. But let's continue.
After some resistance, the suspect was taken into custody, and immediately the little girl was found in a cabinet, cupboard. She was rescued, and she knew she was being rescued. She knew that she was in safe hands. Her parents were immediately notified. This occurred at 6:32 this evening. The suspect, 47-year-old male named Craig Nelson Ross Jr., is still being questioned. At this moment, charges have not been brought, but they are fully expected.
Of course.
Her daughter was transported to local hospital, as is customary. And that's all the family wishes to reveal at this time. But they are united. She is in good hands. She appeared to be outwardly physically unharmed at the time. But we'll leave the rest of this information about little Charlotte to her family at a time they deem appropriate.
Now, real quick, you can lower the music, lower the volume for a second here, because I'm going to do that too. Because I am going to roll back a little bit with the most important pieces of information about her being found, because she was found from what I'm gathering, she was found in a cabinet. But then I'm wondering in what they're saying that she outwardly looked unharmed, but I'm wondering if there was anything else that was going on here, right? If there was anything going on, how she was found, right? Not only was she found in, not only did they say, oh, she was found in this cabinet, but was she in shackles? Was she, you see what I'm saying? They don't really give much information, which I understand. I mean, she's 9 years old, and we got to respect the parents and the family for what they don't want to have out there in these streets as well. But still, I'm just wondering what has happened here. And then the other thing too is, yes, Meg, I agree. How didn't the mom even know this? Not even just hear it. How did she not even know this? That her son has somebody, a little kid in his camper. How would she not know? And from what I see from these aerial shots of the camper, it's not super big either, this camper. So I am wondering about that. I mean, nonetheless, it is extremely fortunate that she was found alive in the first place, but I'm wondering what else is going on. But notice, let me just say this again. Notice that the reports that were being said about heavy activity and all that stuff over at SPAC, over at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, has nothing to do so far with this press briefing. She has not once said anything about SPAC. So I'm wondering why there was any activity over at SPAC. Then let's not forget too, when we were watching WFLA, shout out to JB, when we were watching his portion, they were showing live feeds from SPAC, from the Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Why? And there was activity. There was real activity going on over there. Now I'm still wondering, is that connected to this situation with Charlotte, or was that a separate situation that they were looking into? It could be. Crime happens everywhere, all day, every day. But I'm wondering. They were talking about Saratoga Performing Arts Center like crazy, and then suddenly no more. Now this kid, thank God, this little child has been found, but she was found, I'm sorry, at this monster's own home in the backyard of his mama's crib. To me, it just seems a bit weird. We're going to continue. But like I said, I just got questions. These are the things that I saw that were running through my head last night when I was watching this live. And I'm sitting there going, wait a second. They said nothing about the Performing Arts Center. Sup with that? They talk about the letter. They talk about zeroing everything, zeroing in on this monster. They give us the name of the man, Craig Ross Jr., Craig and them. So you got all that, but why was there activity over there? Does it have anything to do with this or not? I think it might, but let's continue and hear the rest of this, or some more of this.
Often these stories don't end up like this.
I forgot.
Every second is key.
Sorry, I'm rolling back because I'm going to play that part of her being found. Okay.
Camper behind. It came at 2:30 in the afternoon for Charlotte.
It's just the meat and
State
potatoes.
police worked diligently trying to find a match for a fingerprint. First one tried and wasn't successful. Second one was to identify any other prints in the New York State database that would be a match. The hit came at 2:30 in the afternoon. There had been a DWI in 1999 in the city of Saratoga. A fingerprint was found that matched what was found on the ransom note. So, a little more research work to identify the location and identifying the fact that there was a home they could visit. They found a double wide house with a woman, the suspect's mother. The suspect lived in the camper behind. They have what they call a dynamic entry, a tactical maneuver, and within the camper, they located the suspect. After some resistance, the suspect was taken into custody, and immediately the little girl was found in a cabinet. Cupboard. She was rescued. And she knew she was being rescued. She knew that she was in safe hands. Her parents were immediately notified. This occurred at 6:32 this evening. The suspect, 47-year-old male named Craig Nelson Ross Jr., is still being questioned. At this moment, charges have not been brought, but they are fully expected. The daughter was transported. Her daughter was transported to local hospital, as is customary, and that's all the family wishes to reveal at this time. But they are united. She is in good hands. She appeared to be outwardly physically unharmed at the time, but we'll leave the rest of this information about little Charlotte to her family at a time they deem appropriate.
Real quick, some people are saying Dizzy just said it's not rocket science, a science dude. It's a command center, aka where they all met up. Talk about law enforcement. Annabelle said it's just a staging area for the raid on Junior's house. Pascal, yeah, and that could very well be it too. That could very well be the spot, yeah, the rendezvous spot for all law enforcement to park their cars and take off from there with the helicopters and whatnot. That could very, very well be it. And you guys could very well be right. But it was just, I feel like that piece of information was not really given to any of media or anything of that sort. So that could very well be what the case is, for sure. And you guys could very well be right. But it is interesting nonetheless that we didn't hear that from WFLA, from any other media site about that being the rendezvous point for any law enforcement from what I've heard. So, but at the same time, You could very well be right. They did the same thing when they were looking for Danilo Cavalcante, right? Same thing as well. So that could very well be it as well. Let's continue.
Often these stories don't end up like this. Every second is key. There's a lot of pressure. Split decisions are made. Because not just a life is hanging in the balance, but a little innocent child's life is hanging in the balance. So to the teams behind me, you work quickly. You work with great urgency. You put it together, the puzzle pieces. You're able to track down the location of Charlotte through technology. But ultimately, it was the 2 SWAT teams, one federal, one state, that landed in helicopters in Boston Spa to rescue Charlotte. Still pretty overwhelming because all of us feared the worst. But I promise Trish and Dave, they be reunited with little Charlotte once again, and she see her 2 sisters, one 10, one 4 years old. And obviously it's a traumatic event for the family and certainly Charlotte. And we'll continue to keep this family in our prayers as they heal. But she'll be going home. That's the story. Charlotte will be going home. That's all I have to say on the details. Certainly there'll be many more coming out with respect to the suspect and how that case will proceed. But I want to thank the media for their intense interest and the 400 volunteers who would not give up, 400 individuals from law enforcement, fire departments, city, county, state, and federal. It was an awesome sight to witness up at the state park yesterday. Everyone doing their job. But also, there are a lot of parents out there among the ranks. And everybody thinks, if it was my child, I would want everybody under the sun looking for them. And that's what this team did. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. You brought Charlotte home. Any questions?
What were Schenectady agencies involved in this case?
Charlotte's uncle was a member of the police department in Schenectady. I understand. If that's not correct, someone correct me. Fire department.
Was the suspect known to the family?
It has not been determined that the suspect was known to the family.
Was Charlotte randomly targeted, or did he know?
That is what will be revealed after more extensive questioning. The vehicle registered to the suspect, the address in the database was 2 miles from Charlotte's home, but it is not known at this time whether he knew her or had her under surveillance for any length of time.
Sean, Governor, can you say, you said a letter was delivered. Was it delivered by mail carrier? Was it delivered by a third party? Do you have that information at this point?
It appears that it was by the suspect himself, that he literally drove up to the family's mailbox, assuming they were not home. 4:20 in the morning, opens the mailbox and inserts the ransom note, leaving a critical piece of evidence behind, his
Dumbass.
own fingerprint.
He's an idiot.
I assume the car details were also taken into consideration at that point.
It happened very quickly. Obviously, it's dark. It's 4:20 in the morning, so it's hard to get a description of the vehicle. But there was some sense of the type of vehicle at the time when they left. So as they're piecing together all the evidence, it came together when they did the fingerprint match. It leads you to a name. It can lead you to a vehicle. And that's why we know that he had a home. His mother's home is where he was found. Again, double wide trailer. Mother lives there, double wide home. He lives in a camper in the back, or at least he was there. But he also had his name was registered to a vehicle, and the address was a home 2 miles from where Charlotte lived.
And this just came out of nowhere. He just showed up at 4:30 in the morning.
Apparently so.
Tessa, anything?
Have you spoken to Charlotte at all or Charlotte's family since she's been found?
I've made a number of inquiries to the family. This is a traumatic time for them as they're going through, her health, taking care of her health right now. And I'll be speaking to the parents soon as I can.
You said there was some resistance with the suspect. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
When we made the dynamic entry into the residence, he did give our sword operators, our SWAT people, some resistance in there. He was taken into custody. He did suffer some very minor injuries, but it was relatively minor, nothing big on the scuffle.
Great, thanks, everybody.
I just want to say there's still a lot of searches underway at the home that he was registered to, a lot of information. And so you want to make sure that he's not connected with any other cases. So that's why it's still an ongoing investigation. But at
course.
this time, there's no evidence of that.
At the end of the search, what was the extent of the search in terms of the scope area that investigators, searchers were looking at?
I'll let you answer, Caroline. But
Are you asking about at the
There's
park?
six,
The
Or-
scope beyond the park, I've heard reports that it was beyond the park as well.
The original scope of the ground search was within the park. The information we received that took us to Ballston Spa was obviously outside the park. We had no ground search operations going on outside the park other than leads we were running down that we were developing throughout the 2 days.
Great, thank you.
What's the letter say?
We're not gonna disclose that.
From this massive search? What were some of the biggest takeaways from this search? Now that it's
Good.
wrapped up.
I would say the biggest thing is you look at all these people behind us, it's cooperation of all the agencies. We don't work in silos. We have to work together to accomplish something like this. And you can never be too careful with your kids. Pay attention
Come
to
on.
where they're at, what they're doing. Things can happen in an instant. Charlotte was no more than probably 2/10 of a mile from where she was camping in a small area, and she was gone for her to ride her bike around that loop would take her about 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So you think they're safe doing that at 9 years old, but you just got to be cognizant and be paying attention to things around you, your surroundings all the time. These things happen in a hurry, and unfortunately today this ended in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea on the motive?
Will there be any security protocols moving forward on the park?
We'll be doing the after action report to identify any areas where the state parks can make any improvements. But obviously, this is a very random incident, and
Random.
basically anyone who comes in and out of that park will have come through a certain entryway. Their name is, they purchase a ticket, you have their name in a database. So that is why that's also helpful to identify who's in the park. So that's also in a sense a security measure because we always know who's in the park.
Did the suspect enter through the main gates?
We don't know how many games.
Two helicopters, the arrest affected by the helicopters over the ground.
The arrest wasn't done by helicopter because of the seriousness of this incident. We brought in sword operators from throughout the state, and to expedite this, because obviously it was very time sensitive, we flew about 10 of our sword operators from downstate to be here to help with this entry. We normally operate about 6 or 8 people on a team. We had probably 20 sword operators make this entry with an FBI regional SWAT team.
Tell them what the sword stands for.
What SWORD stands for is our Special Operations Response Team. They are like most agencies have a SWAT team. We do that type of thing with our SWORD operators. They're full-time in that capacity, but they also do other things that normal SWAT teams don't do. We respond to high-angle rescue and different things with that team. They're highly trained, highly capable.
They don't
unit
play.
That we use for just this type of thing. This is what they train for. This is what they live for.
Word.
To make entries like this and save someone's life.
All right, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
And just out.
Does this affect how Amber Alerts are sent out? Because was there a delay this time? Because a lot of people are asking about that. Is the park back open tomorrow?
We'll already get back to you on that. I would assume it'll probably be back open, but
He's like, I'm out.
Any updates tomorrow that we should be aware of?
when we have more information, we'll have updates on our website, on our newsroom.
Any press conferences we should be aware of tomorrow?
With this tonight, probably not, but we'll let you know if we decide to do something. If we have more information, we can do. It's an ongoing active investigation, so we have a lot of work to do with this.
So were police present at the home when
They were in the area. They were not able to get the vehicle. There was some, I would say, there was some suspicious activity, and
Shoot. There's a little bit at the end of that video where it continues on with them asking if this guy was a registered SO, and the officer says no. Says no, he was not. So, which I found to be very interesting, and that was like at the tail end of the this press briefing. I thought that was very interesting, but nonetheless, the information that we received here is very interesting. Obviously, this person has been arrested. This guy by the name of Craig Ross. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up his photo again. Craig Nelson Ross Jr., just to be exact. Okay. From some reports say he's 47. Some reports say he's 46. Doesn't matter. This guy is a monster. He took this young girl. Allegedly, he is the one who took this young girl. He is obviously the one that was found with her, holding her against her will in his camper behind his mama's home. There is some more information, obviously, about this man or this monster, okay, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys here now. But again, something here doesn't feel right. Something about this is not, I feel like it's not complete. And I said that to you guys last night. I said, I feel like something's not right. Did he do this by himself? Was he rolling solo dolo on this or no? That's something I still want to know. And I feel that law enforcement are kind of jumping on that same bandwagon with me. But I do have some information about this monster, Craig Ross. All right. So let's look at this. He suffers from MS, multiple sclerosis, and had to move to trailer on mom's property just 4 weeks ago when symptoms got worse. Now, the thing is let me just say this. And the reason why I say maybe this, to me, tells me that maybe there's more to this. Because let me just say this. MS is a physically debilitating situation, okay? Physically debilitating. So think about this. And I don't know how far he is with this illness. I don't know. Don't know who this guy is. Never seen him. Don't know him from a can of paint. All right. But could someone with MS, and if it's really bad, if he's pretty far into it, sorry to say that like that, but for lack of a better term, if it's progressed that much, could he have taken a young 9-year-old child with ease? Just think about that for a second. Okay? And Aliyah, I agree. Bring the buddy system back. Yeah, I agree. And in no way, shape, or form, before we go into this article, in no way, shape, or form am I ever going to be, attacking the parents or anything of that sort, because anything's possible. Even in the buddy system, something bad could happen, right? Even in any type of situation, something bad could happen. A child gets taken all the time within seconds. It takes 2 seconds to just snatch a kid off the street. Real talk. I hate to say it like that, but that's real, right? But yeah, I feel like nowadays all of us, as all parents in the world, need to start thinking of new tactics, or maybe bringing back old tactics that we hated as kids that maybe could help with these kind of situations, so that we don't have children just disappearing on us. And again, this is not a dig at the parents at all. At all. I think this could have happened to the best of us or to the worst of us. I don't know. You know what that phrase is, okay? But anyway, something to think about. But something about this does not feel right. And, here's the thing, though. There's many degrees of severity in MS. Some people are recently diagnosed and the symptoms are very minimal, to say the least. I mean, for lack of a better term. And then it can progress, right? It progresses and gets worse over time. We don't know how far on this guy is, this monster is. We don't. But it does make you wonder, is he the one who actually took Charlotte, or is he the one holding her? Think about that for a second. Okay? And for those of y'all who do or who are speaking out and saying, hey, I have MS and all that, well, I send nothing but healing energy towards you guys, for real, because I can only imagine. Okay? But let's look into this. Actually, hold on. There's one piece. Hold on real quick. There's one piece here that I want to grab right quick from a post I put on the twits. Yes. So just want to share with you guys this here really quick before we continue. I mean, he's my height. So he's 6'4", 275 pounds. He's 46 years old. Okay. So for being 6'4" and 276 pounds, let's be real. That's a big man. That's a big dude. I'm 6'4". That's a really, really big dude. Okay. Or at least that's what I'm being told. Okay. So now I don't know how severe his symptoms are, how intense they are, how debilitating they are, but nonetheless, knowing that piece of information could give us more ideas about what his involvement was in this situation. Was he just the one holding her? Or was he really the one who took her? Or did he take her, but with the help of somebody else? Don't worry, we're going to continue on with that. I will be questioning that even more as well, okay? But let's look at this. And yes, Tyler, I mean, he looks way older for sure. He looks old, okay? I call it a horde 47. That's horde, okay? But let's get into this, okay? So this monster had recently moved into the trailer where missing Charlotte was found because he was suffering from multiple sclerosis. And this is what the Daily Mail can reveal. The 47-year-old reportedly suffered from the condition so badly that he struggled to get around the property in Porter's Corner, New York, and had fallen behind on payments. Let me just repeat that one more again for all y'all in the nosebleed seats. And in fact, I'm going to highlight it so that y'all can see that one more time. So he suffered from this condition so badly that he struggled to get around the property in Porter's Corner, New York, and had fallen behind on payments. But let me say this again. He is 6'4", 275 pounds. He's a big old dude. Big dude. All right? But what's interesting is that he struggles to get around the property. Now, of course, it's really easy for all of us to sit here and go into speculation land. But hey, if somebody has MS and it's that advanced in their body, and they're having a hard time struggling around their own home, how are they going to be able to do what they're being alleged of doing? I'm not sitting here saying that he's innocent. No. No. I'm not trying to defend him. All I'm trying to point out is there's got to be somebody else that was involved. There's got to be. Unless Soybean, you know, and you're right, MS can be extremely unpredictable. One day you feel really good. One day you're feeling fine. The next day you can't even move because of the pain. Can't even, you know, hold a cup, so on and so forth. It's scary, right? It's extremely unpredictable. So I agree with you, Soybean. So what? He just nabbed her on a good day? It's unpredictable. So you don't know when you're going to have a good day and when you're going to have a bad day. He has struggles moving around his own property. He had struggles to move around his own property. Again. So do the math with me really quick. So today, that day, he just was able to go and do what he did. I'm just saying, I feel like there's somebody else involved. Because if you know that your symptoms are that unpredictable, how can you trust yourself in committing such a heinous crime like this by yourself if it's unpredictable? And if you've been diagnosed with this for a while, you know how unpredictable it can be. So wouldn't you want to make sure that either you got somebody with you to help you out or something? I'm just saying, like, I know some people who are, you know, are battling this every single day, stronger than I've ever known, being challenged with this scary, scary thing. And they got to make sure they got somebody coming with them just to go to the supermarket. Because they just don't know. Because it could be one day you're feeling great, the next, within that same day, minutes later, you can have a debilitating moment. So when it comes to this, I'm just asking the question. He could very well have done this by his lonesome. Real talk. This is a big man. This is a very big man. She's 4'6". I'm trying to remember the specifics about her weight and everything. I think isn't she like 90 pounds or something like that? Hold on. 90 pounds, 4'6", 90 pounds. I'll just blow this up. So, I mean, you know, for him, she could be a paperweight on a good day. But something still feels like something's just not feeling right, y'all. Okay? Something's not feeling right. And I don't think that law enforcement, and I think that law enforcement agrees with me as well. We're getting to that. But let me show you guys a little bit more of this article. Okay? He was charged with one count of taking after she went vanishing, or after she vanished while riding her bike on a family camping trip. Hulking Ross. They are saying Hulking Ross was arraigned. That's what they're saying, at the Wilton Town Court in the early hours of Tuesday, and is being held without bail in Saratoga County Jail in Boston Spa. Neighbors told this article that this 6'4", 275-pound father of three barely spoke and could often be seen working in his yard. He moved into the trailer at the rear of his mother's property around a month ago after the debilitating condition worsened. He appeared disheveled in a mugshot released by New York State Police, was described as a recluse who would care for his 11-year-old daughter for half of the week at his $180,000 three-bedroom home. I'm just going to show you, like, this is where cops pulled up and we're taking this guy. So he had this condition so badly that he wasn't able to pay his bills on time and properly. Hence the reason why he moved into his mama's home, or into the backyard of his mama's place, and was living in a camper. Like I said, something's not smelling right. And then, of course, it makes you wonder, does he have a history of doing this? Has he done this before? Is this his first time? He is a father of 3, by the way. He's got an 11-year-old daughter, by the way. And I'm wondering who else knows about this? Who else is involved? Does his mom know this stuff, or does she not know anything and leans on the power of denial? Thinking my son is great, my son is good. Just some photos here, real quick. He's a father of 3, y'all. See, that's the thing that just burns my cookies, man. I'm just telling y'all. Real talk. Jeez Louise. Yeah, they were going through that. They were going through that camper. And allegedly, this is where it was at, right here. Or this is where it's at. His camper. So, of course, 6:15, she was snatched here. 4:20, he drops off a ransom note containing his DNA and a fingerprint. The cops were meant to have been watching the house, had been sent to another call. Okay, see, and you see that on under 2 right here, on Monday at 4:20. Funny, smoke it if you got it, I guess. 4:20 a.m. on a Monday. He conveniently pulls up and puts a note in the mailbox as the cops run off to another call. Think about that for a second. I mean, Nicole, he dumb. Like, he dumb. Okay? He's really dumb. He was not thinking. All right? Clearly, or maybe he was really thinking. Still, no matter what, damn. He's just dumb. But think about that for a second. He was sitting there. You're telling me he just pulled up at random and Eureka, the cops were gone? He drops it off at 4:20 a.m. So he was chilling, waiting for an opportunity for the cops to leave so he could drop this note off. So he was lurking in the back. He was chilling. You're telling me he just went and randomly pulled up at 4:20 a.m. Perfect timing when the cops had already left for another call? Nah, I think he was chilling in the back waiting for this moment to drop off this ransom note. But then the question is, where was Charlotte throughout that entire time? Who was watching Charlotte? That's crazy, guys. Unless she was riding with him in the car. That's just, like I said, it's insane. The other part is, how did he know where her family lived? We talked about that in the other show. And there's a possibility she could have told him because she was scared for her life. He probably may have threatened her. So she could have just said, "This is where I live." That could have been it. Or that could have happened. Or I don't know. To me, something just screams someone was plotting. This was planned out. Something doesn't feel right. And I do feel that there's got to have been some sort of help with this situation. Maybe they were literally, and of course, it just feels like she was targeted, or at least the family was targeted. I mean, think about that. Let me continue on with this, but like I said, it just doesn't make sense. So 4:20 that morning, he's dumb. My God, he's dumb. So 4:20, he drops off this note, knowing when the cops had already left, they went to another call. What that call is, we do not know what it is. But then following that afternoon or that evening at 6:30, Charlotte was found safe inside a cabinet in Craig Ross Jr.'s trailer. Within a little over 14 hours. 14 hours, cops show up, busting through his mama's door or something, going into the backyard, going into his home, into his camper, finding her there safe. But she still was taken and was taken against her will for a while. You know, like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay. And of course they say here, after this note was dropped off, by the way, and let's not forget, they were from getting the fingerprint, they were able to find out that he had a DWI in 1999. So they knew exactly who they were looking for. They're like, okay, here's the guy. We got his fingerprint. He left his fingerprint on this ransom note. Man, I would love to see what this ransom note said. Man, do I ever. But they were able to figure that out and zero in on this mother lover. So federal agents and state troopers swooped on the home, which is less than 2 miles from Charlotte's family property, on Monday night. So they were literally in the same neighborhood, basically. They were that close, and they didn't even know. That's crazy, y'all. Hold on. Funky Gigi just said this, which I feel like I'm just kind of echoing it again. But yeah, they live right down the street from each other. From what I understand, she's 9 and he has an 11-year-old. It's not far-fetched to believe that in an area such as Saratoga or Milton, they knew. Yeah. I mean, it feels like maybe the kids may have run into each other at some events, so on and so forth. Kids just being kids, blah, blah, blah. But that's very weird, y'all. Very, 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 very weird, right? That they were literally a stone's throw away from each other. I know the 2 miles is still 2 miles, but still, that's crazy how close they lived near each other. And there's a good possibility that this man saw them at an outing, at an event, something, and then became fixated. And it may have just been fixated on just the family, on all the kids, maybe. I don't know. But the other question is, how would he know? And this is why I think there's a lot of lurking going on. But this is the other question. I wonder, how would he know that she would be at this camping at Moreau, right? At this lake, at this state park. How would he know about that? He just pulls up and it's he just got the luck of the Irish? I don't get that. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So that's something I'm also trying to understand. Okay. And Raven, definitely let us know what else is going on. What else is popping off in the news? I'd love to know. But yes, still something is not right. Okay. But they remained on the scene on Tuesday with crime scene tape blocking the drive to the building and additional buildings. One neighbor said it's the best scenario that she's been found. Last night, I heard sirens and the entire road was covered with undercover cars and state police and troopers. I asked if I should be concerned, and the police asked me to look at photos, and I told them, yeah, that's Craig. He owns that house, and his sons live there now. They're in their 20s, I've briefly seen them, but they keep to themselves. My kids ride their bikes up to his mailbox, and that's about it. He's pretty reclusive. He moved in shortly after us. He made a driveway earlier in the year and never finished it. And that may be because of the MS, maybe. This was his home until about 4 weeks ago. He had moved back into his trailer, the trailer with his mom because his MS got so bad. See, MS got so bad. So if he was doing a driveway and he was busy paving, making way for a driveway, paving it and all that, and he didn't get a chance to finish this because of his MS, how is he able to go and snatch a little kid? And you got to remember, this is snatch and dash, y'all. This is not snatch and then, come on, kiddo, we're going this way. No, it's snatch and dash. Jump into a vehicle and drive off. And remember, there was still some space. There was still some space between the main road and Loop A. So how was he able to do this all on his lonesome? I don't think he did it on his lonesome, guys. I really don't think he did it alone. But let's continue. Locals confirmed that they were asked to identify images of Ross by police and confirmed that he lived in the property with his 2 sons. They added that his daughter spent a lot of time at his home before the incident, and they never expected the taking to be linked to the quote-unquote quiet neighbor. Charlotte is from 2 miles away. So in this rural area, he is close to her, another neighbor said. I was shocked by all this. His daughter spent a lot of time here. She was half here and half with her mom. It was just him up until recently with his sons moving in. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that everybody's a suspect, but I'm wondering what's up with the sons all moving back in during that time, so on and so forth. But, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. You know what I mean? Everybody's a suspect at this point, in my personal opinion. Okay. The troopers said that they were planning on questioning him all night. He has 3 houses in his name. So we don't know if he has money trouble or anything. 3 houses in his name. 3. Okay. It's just the sticks here. If you don't want your relatives in the house, you put them out back. So we already know about all this. But fingerprints fingerprints on the note matched a 1999 DUI charge from Ross in Saratoga, with cops swooping on multiple properties that he was linked to. So they went to so he had 3 different homes. He owns 3 different homes, y'all. Treated him. So they all swooped in on all of them, and they found him in the backyard of his mom's home. 3 homes. It does make you wonder why, if he owns 3 homes, why he stayed in this camper in the backyard of his mom's home. Questions. I got many of them, as always. But moving on. Okay. So this is important. Again, let me repeat this. Now, it was cut off before the whole thing was, they said it at the end, but he is not a registered SO. He resisted arrest when they attended his property, but he was taken into custody at 6:30 p.m. Of course, we already know that she's in good health. She was reunited with her parents. The motive behind the crime is unclear. That's the other thing that really angered me. I know that 5-0 probably wouldn't answer the question, but somebody did ask the question during that press briefing from last night, and they didn't even answer it. They glossed right over it. Somebody said, what is the motive? And then another reporter just blurted out their question. And it's like, no, like, what was there a motive? That's what I want to know. What's the motive behind this? Again, many, many questions I got, guys. Many, many questions. All right. Now, this is what a family friend is saying, that this was premeditated. And they fear that the suspect had been watching her family before he took her during the camping trip. Like I said, to me, it seems like this was a planned out hit. This was totally plotted, y'all. And maybe there is a money issue. I see S-Dub said something about money. It could be money. It could be money. And it may not be, though, too. But I feel like, it's leaning harder at money. You write a ransom. Come on. You write a ransom letter, a ransom note saying, I want money. Clearly it's about money, but it does make you wonder, is this his first time ever doing this? Was he really financially in dire straits to the point where he was like, I'm just going to go commit this unthinkable crime? When you are a father of 3 of your own, you got an 11-year-old daughter, you're doing this to another person's daughter? This is insane. That's just insane to me. Okay, but real quick, what also is insane, insanely dope. Sailor Purge, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you so very much. And just like Sailor, you can become a family member simply by hitting that join button down below. All right. Just consider doing that. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. Darlene, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Maybe girls were friends on school bus, found out about camping trip from daughter. That could very well be it. But it's interesting, though. Why would he go and say, oh, they're going on a camping trip? Oh, just seems a bit weird. And why that family of all families? You see what I'm saying? Clearly, this is a premeditated thing, because he pulls up to where they left off, or they pulled up to where they were doing the little picnic camping thing. He just swoops up, gets her, and then disappears. And this wasn't premeditated? This was just luck that he pulled up? Sorry, not the greatest term, luck. But like, coincidence that just pulls up and there it is? There she is riding her bike? This seems a bit odd, guys. It's just a little bit odd. A little bit odd. Okay? A little bit odd. So odd. Okay, so there's more. I have questions. Okay. And I'm still going to keep asking, did mama know? Okay. Did mama know? That's something I'm still wanting to know as well. Is she just protecting and not saying nothing? Or did she know? Or is there something deeper going on here? And I know that it's really easy for all of us to jump onto that speculation train, wear our tinfoil hats and think like, oh, it's the aliens. Like, I get it. It can spin off into something crazy. But there's something about this that still tells me that maybe he did not operate alone. And what I mean by that is this. Let me share with you guys this. This is a post that was put up 6 hours ago from the Saratoga County Sheriff's office. And it reads, the Saratoga County Sheriff's office is assisting the New York State Police in the ongoing investigation of Charlotte Sena's taking and subsequent rescue. If there is anyone who may have video footage during the hours of 6:15 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. for the roads listed below on Saturday evening, the 30th of September, please contact investigator Robinson at their email. Okay. Now they want to know this stuff. It's a long list. I mean, it's a substantial list. I wouldn't say it's super long, but it's a list nonetheless. Okay, so Old Saratoga Road in the town of Moreau, Route 9 south of Old Saratoga, found in the towns of Moreau and Wilton, Ballard Road near Corinth Mountain Road in the town of Wilton, Corinth Mountain Road in the towns of Wilton and Corinth, Spear Falls Road in the towns of Corinth and Greenfield, North Greenfield Road in the town of Greenfield, Middle Grove Road in the town of Greenfield, Route 29 in the town of Milton, Barrett Road in the town of Milton. That is a lot of roads. Okay? That is a whole lot of roads. And this is also still in conjunction with the still ongoing, as they said, still ongoing investigation in Charlotte's case. So let me ask you this. This was posted 6 hours ago. 6 whole hours ago. All right? 6 hours ago, they posted this video or this statement asking for anyone that has any footage, video footage between the hours of 6:15 and 7:15 p.m. on all these roads listed on that very same day, the night that she was actually taken. Why do you think they would need all that? Think about it for a second. Usually when they finish this thing up, they're usually doing the press conference, wiping their hands clean, patting themselves on the back, going, good job, law enforcement. No. You good job, law enforcement. They're doing all that all day long, doing the, congratulatory tour, law enforcement, once again, kicking ass, taking names. You know what I'm saying? They're doing all that. They usually do all that. But something about that press conference seemed a little bit funky, didn't it? And also, let's not forget, they say they're not even done yet. Usually they wipe their hands clean. They go, daughter's is safe. We got our bad guy. Good job to each other. America, right? Not the case here. As far as I'm seeing, this is still an ongoing investigation, at least when they posted this 6 hours ago. Now, if there's a new post, I'd be surprised. They'd be like, nope, everything's fine. She's home. We got our culprit. We're good. See you guys soon. See you at the next community outing, right? But they're saying, hey, if you guys have any information, any video footage, please send it our way. Why? And I also think, I know some of y'all are like, that mayor was high on something, man. She was on one. No, I don't know. I think that there's a lot more to it. I think she knows, yes, one thing that we can walk home with is that Charlotte is home alive, which is fantastic. But I don't think that they were done yet. They're not done yet. They're not done yet. And this is just my theory, and my theory could be completely wrong. So don't come at me if I'm wrong. But I do feel that this guy did not operate on his own. I really don't think he operated on his own. And I think that there's more to this. I think that there's more to this case than just this guy being brought in and saying, okay, we're done, guys. Where's my bonus check? You know what I'm saying? This man has MS. It's so debilitating that he couldn't finish paving or finishing a driveway that he was in the middle of doing on one of his properties. The MS was that intense, he couldn't do that anymore. His MS is so bad that he's living in the backyard of his own mother's home in a camper. And I'm sure because, I'm sure mama's cooking is amazing. I'm sure for him. And if he needs extra help, he has it. But that's the other thing. He's living in a camper instead of living in these other 3 properties. But at the same time, maybe it's the fear of something bad happening and not having somebody nearby. But he's living in a camper in the backyard. MS so debilitating that he can't even do his own, like he can't even walk around his own properties or do any tasks that are physical. So how could this guy take this young girl with ease? Now you got law enforcement, which I'll show you guys again, out here asking for video footage on a very specific day, the actual day that this young girl was taken. And remember, I want to also add to this piece because this screams something's up. So look at this. Open your eyes, y'all. Let me blow this up a little bit more. Maybe I could do that. Yes, I can. Look at this right here. Let's not forget. Blammo. Do you see that timestamp? Mind you, she went missing around 6:15 p.m. on the 30th of September. She went missing around that same time. Why would they need all that video for all those roads around the same hour that she disappeared? Y'all, tell me something. Somebody talk to me. Why? To make sure it's him? Sure, fine, sure. But they got the guy. He's arrested, right? But they are saying that this is still an ongoing investigation. They're not done. She's been rescued. Thank God, right? She's safe. She's home. Thank you, baby Jesus, right? God is good. Because most of the time we hear worse outcomes. So her being home is fantastical news. But they are still saying this is an ongoing investigation. And now they want footage from the hour that around the same hour that she went and got taken. I'm telling you right now, my main question, and I say it in the top of this show, or the top of in the title in the very beginning, are there more suspects in this case? Or no? You know. I'm thinking about it. Give me a second to think about this for a second. Debbie just said something, and I don't know if I want to do it and be on for 5,000 hours. But let me think about it. Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm thinking. Let me see here. All right. because I know a lot of us are still ruminating these things, and you see it right here. Okay, you see it right here. There's a lot to ask. All right, there's a lot to consume and let ruminate in your head. Now, I could be completely wrong, but why would they be putting this up if this and it's now 7 hours old? Okay, because it just changed it. All right, but this is 7 hours ago. And you know, and just to make sure that I'm not out of my mind, let me see if there's any more updates on there on the Facebook page. I'll show it to you guys too, just so you guys know that I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not being anything weird. But this post has not changed, and there has not been any more updates thus far. Just so you guys know. So this statement has not changed at all in the last 7 hours. So again, there's that. Just so you guys can remember. 6:15 is when she allegedly disappeared. She went on that ride. Within those 15 minutes, parents were like, wait a second. That should have taken less than 5 minutes for her to take that round on Lupe. Where the heck is she? And then that's when everyone got concerned. And then now they're looking for information and footage from that very hour, around that very hour, from multiple different angles, multiple different roads. And they're still saying this is an ongoing investigation. Are there more suspects? Let me open up. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to say this too, though. I'm going to open up the phone lines so you can give me a call. Hold on one second. Make sure this is open real quick. But before we go into any phone calls, all right? One, be respectful, keep it classy, and keep it short. I'm only going to be on with this, do this for a short while. That's all I'm going to say. And I get it. All evidence does help. But at the same time, and of course, they want to know everything, the whole breakdown and everything. But it feels to me like there's more to it. Sure, they want more information and more footage so that they can see how he did what he did. But I don't know. I did something's not computing completely for me with this. Something doesn't feel right. Because usually by this time, we're just getting news reports, etc. Not every day do you have people calling in and saying, not every day do you have police after they've gotten the culprit to say, hey, y'all have any footage? Can y'all send it to us? Because we're still in this ongoing investigation. And clearly it's still an ongoing investigation, which I understand too. But let's take a listen. Hello, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Cassie in Seattle, Washington.
Cassie, hey, what's on your mind? Speak on it.
Okay, on another program.
Oh, hold on real quick. Guys, hit the number 1. Make sure, let me know you guys can hear this conversation. Okay? I'm sorry, Cassie. What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Yes, on another program, they were filming outside of where this guy lived before he went to his mom's, and they searched the house and everything. But at the very end, they brought out a measuring thing and they measured the driveway only.
Interesting.
And you just said that he was making a new driveway. And there's other women that have been girls that have been missing in that area too, I think. And I don't know who they are, but anyway, so I just wanted to bring that. It's really strange if you go back and look at JLR's video today.
Yeah.
He was first at the brother's house, and then he went to that house, and he's got the whole thing of them first going up there and everything, and also the guy's son spoke to JLR and said that he hated him and everything, and he had no, how disdain he was over his father. But anyway, you can see that. But at the very end, they came and they measured that driveway.
Yeah. Well, that driveway could mean a lot of different things. It could mean something sinister. It could also mean nothing at all. But the fact that he didn't finish the driveway, from what that report says, which of course we got to be careful what we consume as the truth and what's not the truth, I guess, nowadays, because some reports are wrong. But
you just said that driveway, and then that's the only thing that they took out, that measuring thing, and measured.
Yeah. It is the only thing that they, I mean, and if that is, I haven't seen that video, but I'll take a look at it when I have some free time for sure. But Cassie, thank you so much for the phone call. You never know.
Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. All right. Let's see. Hey, you on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from West Yellowstone.
West Yellowstone. What's your name?
My name's Kelly, and I have been a camp host for 15 years, and I'm retired law enforcement.
Right on. Thank you so much for calling in. So what's on your mind? Speak on it.
Well, I've been in a lot of different campgrounds hosting, and my main concern is, campsites being so close to an open roadway like that. I mean, a lot of them are more remote that you have to drive out to, and you don't have accessibility to, main highways to be gone,
Right.
And I feel like if he didn't put that ransom note in that mailbox, we'd still be looking for her.
You know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you, I agree completely. I think that there's a lot that wouldn't have been solved if he wasn't such a dumbass. I'm just gonna say it.
Right?
If
he has a big S on his forehead.
Yeah, he's an idiot. But thank God he's an idiot, right? Because without that, we would have still been the police would have been twiddling their thumbs trying to figure this thing out, and this would have been like this search could have stretched out for weeks. Late night, all this stuff. This could have been another Danilo Cavalcante type of situation. So thank God it didn't happen that way. But one thing you did point out in the very beginning there is, I'm hoping, outside of everything, with the Moreau Lake State Park, I'm hoping that they're looking at how that area, that Loop A at least, or any other ones that are close to the street, I'm hoping that they're looking at this and going, okay, maybe we need to build some sort of fences, something of that sort that's very hard to scale, something, because anyone could just walk off that street, park on the side of the road, walk up the street, walk into that park, and nab any person that they want, without having to sign in, right? So, I mean, just the fact that it's so close to that street, this hopefully rings some serious warning bells for the people who run that park, so that they can keep people safe.
And also, too, our national forests and our state forests and parks and stuff like that, their funding has been cut. So you aren't going to find any cameras in these campgrounds. So it's not even going to be at the fee stations. Okay.
Wow.
So maybe that should be something that they can consider in the future, to record vehicles that come in and out with a timestamp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like it's interesting lately. It's Kelsey, right? Okay.
Yes.
It's interesting, Kelsey. What we've been noticing recently, or at least on this show, what we've been covering on this show lately has been a lot of unfortunate attacks that have been happening inside of parks, and a lot of these parks don't have security cameras. And I keep saying, and I'm hearing that with Moreau, that they're are like trail cams and stuff like that, but they take stills, like snapshots kind of thing, not moving images, which I think is absolutely insane to me, because now we're starting to see a lot of terrible attacks of people losing their lives going, and these monsters going undetected because of the lack of technology for the safety of the people that are actually walking or exercising or just enjoying nature in the park. This should be a huge wake-up call for every park in the nation to wake up and start putting in security cameras, period.
Well, I mean, like they essay girls in the bathrooms at these state parks, your beaches and whatever else, And if you had, more images in those localities where there's more privacy for these creeps,
right.
Then you could see him go into the building before the girl goes into the building, or him coming out afterward, or
Yeah.
So I think it should be something invested by the national parks and the state park system.
Yeah, I do completely agree. And what's really frustrating about it as well is that we're now at the place where Saratoga County Sheriff's Office is asking for help, asking for footage. Anybody has dash cam footage, a Snapchat, Instagram video, whatever it may be that is around these particular roads. And there's a lot of roads that they're asking for some actual significant video footage. It's sad because if there were video, if there were security cam videos, they wouldn't be asking this question, right? So, but I also do think,
and they want to know if he snatched her up by himself or not too.
Exactly,
So,
because if you got somebody with MS, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about anybody who's, battling MS, but
I've had a friend of mine that had MS, and yeah, it's very debilitating.
It's extremely debilitating. So you tell me he's going to be able to run over there and snatch a 90-pound girl if he can't even finish a driveway? You know what I mean? Or can't even walk around his own property properly? I mean,
well, we don't know if he's doing an insurance scam either. So,
that's a good point there too. That's a very good point there too. Something to think about for sure.
Right.
Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for the phone call. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Have a great day, Pascal.
Thank you, you too. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Very, very, very interesting, comments and calls. But yeah, I think that's very interesting is that we don't have the proper amount of security cams, video surveillance, whatever, just like what we have talked about with Rachel Morin. We have talked about that with Miriam Tory. They were on walks, runs, whatever, enjoying the park, enjoying nature, and all of a sudden losing their lives like this. Excuse me. It's crazy to think that we have all these beautiful parks out here and no one who runs these parks and et cetera has thought about, hey, crime does happen, and crime is now happening everywhere. It doesn't matter where it is. There should be some way to catch these bad guys when they're committing this crime, or at least them knowing that there is security cameras all up their wazoo, where so much that it stops them from actually committing these crimes, especially in parks. Like I said, it's pretty insane to me, guys. It's pretty insane to me. Mimi, thank you so much for the 2 Swiss francs. Hi, Pascal and fam. Love your shirt. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. But like I said, like I said, the math is just not mathing for me with all of this. It's pretty terrible and frustrating, because I feel that there's been so many opportunities for to learn from these situations, to tighten certain things up so that we can get people, keep people safe, especially when they're just simply riding a bike in a park in daylight. This wasn't like she was riding her bike in the middle of the night. This was a kid, 9-year-old kid riding her bike when the sun was still up. And they were still able to this monster was still able to get this kid like that. And still, when you got people, when they are asking certain things like this, to me, it still tells me that they are thinking that he may not have been alone when it came to this. And I'm going to close the phone lines. So the phone lines are done, Debbie, but thank you so much for letting people know. I think those are two fantastic phone calls. I appreciate it. Simple, sweet, but we're done for now. But it is interesting when you have them going, hey, we want to see any footage that you have out here. Now, again, it could very well be them just trying to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row so that they have a solid case against this monster. But then it could also mean that they feel that something else went down or someone else could have been involved in the disappearance or in the taking of this young girl. Anything is possible at this point, to be completely real. Hold on. Sean, thank you so much for the Cash App. Sean, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. But of course, we're going to keep looking at this, okay? We're going to keep looking at this. Because anything's possible. Like I said, anything is possible. But this is a very, very big man. He is capable of doing a lot of things. And then what Kelsey said at the end of that, and she's right. This guy could be faking it. You know, he could be faking it just to get a bag. That could be it too, right? So this is very interesting. But as time goes on, as the information comes out, we will be talking about this. It could very well be just him, and that's it. But to me, still something's screaming to me that something's off, that there's somebody involved or people. It could be a group of people that are involved. This could be a whole ring, for crying out loud, that they could possibly dismantle, which I hope that they could do. I'm hoping that this is not going to be the opposite of Jesse McFadden, which feels like there was just nothing but things being covered over, things being hidden, etc. There's a ring that was going on in Henrietta, Arkansas, and it's still going on to this day. I guarantee you that. So I'm hoping that Saratoga County Sheriff's Office, the New York State Police, etc. I hope that they do their due diligence and they bring them all down if there's more people involved in this unthinkable crime. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Seems like the job is not done yet. It is not over yet. But hopefully more will come soon. And I'm thinking on how rapidly they've been working on things. I think more information is going to be coming out a lot faster than we all think. And I'm hopeful for that. And I will tell you though too, that I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. I am most definitely here for it. So hopefully law enforcement continue doing their due diligence. It makes me smile when good guys win. All right. And evil loses. Anyway, guys, again, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. What a great conversation. Great show with all y'all. Thank you so much for the phone calls and all that. Really do appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. Make it scream out your doggone name. You know, it'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit that follow button on my Facebook page. All right. And I'm sure this will turn into a audio podcast as well. So if you like those kinds of things, that will be up very shortly indeed. Okay, guys. Anyway, it's time to get going. Have a great day. Love your kids. Love your family members. Enjoy your time with them. Every moment should be cherished as best as it can. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.